Welcome to the part 2 of this crash course on version control system. Part 1 was all about the philosophy, the what and why of version control system, and this part 2 is all about how do you actually use Git and GitHub. Part 1, link in the description. Part 2 begins now. I will be going through Git and GitHub. I'll be using Git in command line, and I'll be using GitHub on the website in a browser, and I'll show how you can use these tools to work on a project and how could you collaborate with your friends and other people. So let's begin. So I am here in my directory. I need to make a directory first. I'll make a directory called foobar. So foobar will be our website. So if I do ls, there's nothing. This folder is empty. Let's create website and index.html. So again, now we have a file. Right now we don't have any version control system implemented over here. Whenever we initialize a folder as a version controlled environment, we prefer to be inside that folder. So as you can see right now, I am inside this folder called foobar, and I have a file called index.html. So I will be in there and I will be making this. I will be using Git to track every step of progress in this particular file. So if I do cat index.html, there's nothing really. I won't be developing a real site. I'll be just adding some text. I'll be being very lazy over here, and I'll just be adding some text to showcase how it works. So the very first command that you would want to learn is git init. Of course, you need to install Git. I think it comes built in Mac. I'm not sure. In any case, you have this package manager in your systems. If you are on Mac, the one that I recommend is Brew. If you are on Linux and Windows, you might have something else. So you need to make sure how to install. You need to have this command installed. So this command will help you to initialize your folder as a Git repository. So repository is essentially a folder that is tracked. So if I say a repository, it means a folder that is tracked by your version control system, and in our case, our version control system is Git. And mind you, GitHub has not entered the scene yet. So what do we get? Initialized empty Git repository in this path. And as you can see, I am using a plugin. You don't really get this. You might get something like this in your. You might get something like this in your computer. So you need to install something called a plugin called ZSH. I'll be putting the link in the description below, and it's fairly simple to install. And once you install it, you get this fancy display of your branch. And again, we won't be doing a lot of. I shouldn't have said that out. Branches are say a sort of concept in Git, and we won't be doing branches today. We'll be just doing a very simple workflow. I think branches are unavoidable, so I'll try to keep things simple. So right now, as you can see, we have one file. We have initialized the project using git init. If I try to do it again, it will say reinitialized. If I do ls, there's nothing. And if I do ls-a, I'm saying please show me all the files in this folder. And you can see there is a hidden folder called Git that will keep track of your project internally over there. So please do not delete this folder. So if you delete this folder, you lose all your progress. But if you push it to GitHub, then you won't. Again, okay, let's not talk about GitHub for a moment. Okay, I'll be using Vim to make my life simple for this demo. So let's do index.html. You don't have to use Vim. You can use VS Code or anything. And I'm just using this for simplicity. I'll just write header. Done. I just wrote the header of my website. So if I do if I try to see what is there inside my index.html, there is a header. Now I want to take a snapshot of this state of my website or of my application. So what I will do is I will say git, hey, I want to commit this file, and say I added header. So I want to take a snapshot of this particular file. right? And we'll get an error over here. Sorry, yeah, I mean, not the one that I was trying to say. So if you're trying to add a message into your commit, you can use -m, and you can add your message inside double quotes. Can you use single quotes? I think, I'm not sure. Okay, let's not be distracted, let's focus. If I try to commit again, I'll get the error that I wanted to show you. So what are we getting over here? It says on branch man initial commit untracked files, use git add file to include in what will be committed. Now we are entering git, still not on the GitHub, still on git. So what git is saying is, you want to commit, right? Okay, but there are some steps that you need to follow to make a snapshot. If you are only working with one file, this step doesn't really make sense. But if you are working with hundreds of files, and if you say make changes in hundreds of files here and there, you don't want to commit all at once, or you might not want to commit all at once, right? So you must have that power to select the particular files that you want to take a snapshot of. And again, whenever you encounter some error in Git will try to suggest you some solutions. So it is saying use git add file to include in what will be committed. So I want to commit my index.html, so I will say git please add index.html. Again, Git did not say anything. It means our file has been added. Are you sure? Has it been added over there? So let's try to ask Git for the status. So I will say Git, what's the status? Can you give me a status please of my project or the repository? So Git will say, you are on branch main, you haven't done any commits yet, changes to be committed. So you see there is this new file called index.html that I'm ready to commit. So these changes, whatever you have made changes in these file over below, you can commit them. So if you want to change your mind, you can use this other command to clear or unstaged. So Git has a term for this that is called staging area and unstaged area. So staging area, or the stage, let's just call it staged or staged files, is where the files are ready to be committed or take a screenshot of. So if you remember earlier, I said if you're working on a real project, say you have made changes or you worked on 10 files for some reason, but you don't want to take a snapshot of all the 10 files. You want to select how many files you want to take the screenshot of, right? So, and again, when I'm saying screenshot, it's like logging the state of your project, your code. So you want to take a screenshot of, say, 5 files, but again, you change your mind, you don't want to include all the 5 files, you want to include 3 files. So you again need to have that flexibility to remove some files, right? So Git is a very powerful tool. You have all sorts of options to do, and there are commands for doing that. Again, you can use graphical user interface tools if you are threatened or if you feel scared using this terminal, but you learn this once and you use this for rest of your life. I learned this in my internship, and I've been using the same commands with few modifications to the state. And along the way, I do have picked up few tricks that are under my sleeves that I will share in part 3, I guess, because this video might be a bit too long for that. But I will summarize it at the end. I think there are just 9 or 10 commands that you might have to memorize, and among them you will only be using 4 or 5 on a regular basis. So we created a file, we added a header in our website, and we are now ready to commit. Just now we staged the file by saying, hey Git, just add this file to the staging area. So Git added that. We checked the status of the file. So Git says, okay, these green files are ready to be committed. So if you remember earlier, I had tried to commit the file using this command. I said to Git, please commit the files that I've staged. I want to give this commit a message. So I said, I added header, this is my commit message. So when we say commit, it really means a state of the application that we want to log in. So if you see over here, it says git commit, I added header, one file changed, one insertion, create mode, something. I don't really read all this. So what I do is, if you notice, after doing the commit, the color of this thing changed from yellow to green. So this plugin really helps. The ZSH really helps. So let's clear the screen and let's do git status again. You can enter this command as many times as you want, and you can say you are on branch main, you don't have anything to commit, your tree is clean, everything is clean. What do? I just added header, right? Now let's add the body in our website. So I'll do Vim. Vim is the editor that I will use. Index.html. Again, I don't know how to use Vim. I'm just doing this to demo you. So body. So I just added the body in Vim. Let's do save this file and exit. Now you can see, as soon as I made a change in the file, the color of this branch changed from green to yellow. Means something's up, right? It's trying to signify you that something's. So let's take a look. Okay, file. There's only one file. So hey Git, what's up? What's up with you? Okay, you are on branch main. Git says changes are not staged for commit. So please use git add and the file name to update what will be committed. Although you staged a file once and you do the commit, and once your branch becomes clean and once you make a change, you need to stage that file once again. Should I repeat that? You have to do staging every single time you make a commit. Once you make a commit, Git forgets about the files that you've staged, right? So once you do a commit, your staging is cleared out. There is no file on the staging area. So you need to again tell to Git, hey Git, I have done some changes. I need to stage the files again. So let's say when you do in a project, let's say you have 10 files. So what you can do is say git add index.html, then you do git add header.html. So in other, say you did some change to footer, so you say footer.html. So this could get a bit tedious, right? So you need to add one file one after another. A shortcut is git add dot. Just add everything that is there in this folder. So if we do git status, Git will say, okay, you've modified this file index.html that you didn't stage earlier, but now you've staged it, and now I'm ready to commit this file. So again, git commit message I added body, enter. Bravo, you just added the body as well. So if we do git status, you say, okay, you're clean. Or let's say I have a very sloppy memory and I don't remember what I've done in the project so far, but I do remember that I have added some message in every commit so far. In every snapshot there is a message that I have sort of kept in there as a remark to remind myself, okay, what I did there, right? So we can see those remarks by a simple command called git log. Let's do the enter. You can see please don't ignore this thing for the time being. So if you see over here on Sunday, October 10 at this time, so and so, there is a commit called I added header. Author is me. Here is my email, and on the same day, sometime later, I added a commit called I added body. So if we do this, this list becomes long, but there's timestamp and there's a name of author to simplify how the progress has been done so far. And you can see over here, we are over here. Okay, let's not, please ignore this for the time being. Again, press escape. Okay, escape doesn't work. Q works. So we just saw the log, right? Let's add the footer. So again, so Git says, okay, you modified this file, so that's why I am switching from my status from green to yellow. So you can see you have this file, you can add it using git add, or you could ignore that file, the changes that you've made with just this command git restore. Want to try that? So let's say I didn't like the footer that I created. So I'll just do, now I want to remove that and maybe rewrite again, maybe, just maybe. I usually don't do that, but let's just say git restore index.html, enter. Okay, I said get, I wrote something on a file index.html, but I don't really want those things. Can you clear that up, like whatever things I've added? So if we see, well, our footer is gone from the file. Let's say I changed my mind and I want to add footer and commit it. So I'll again edit the file, save it, and I will do get add index.html, and I will say get, please save the commit. I don't want to restore it because I just added footer, but let's continue this. So I just added the footer. So if we check the git log, you can see I added the header, I added the body, and I added the footer. So everything is tracked. Every snapshot is given this unique number, which is called hash. Every commit has this unique hash that keeps every commit unique and in order. So we can obviously go to these commits and see our state of application. So let's travel back to time and see the state of our application when our application had just this commit, right? So I'll copy it, I'll exit this, so I'll say git checkout. Okay, now we get this funky little number over here. So if you remember, this is the initials of this particular hash. Again, you might think it's a bit complex, but just bear with me for the time being. So I'll just say get, let's just say what we have the file, right? So let's just see what is in there. You only have header. Where is my header and footer? Is it lost? No, it's not lost. It is still there. Remember when I told you we could travel back in time and see the state of the application? So this is in that state. We've gone to the past and we are just witnessing a state where our application, where our index.html only had header. So if I do git log, there's nothing. You can't see the future. So there are not further commits. It might be disorienting at first, but that's how it is. So if you come over here, you get this long message. So let's try to read it and see what the git said when we try to time travel back. So when I said, hey git, I want to go back in the very first commit, I have the commit hash, come on, send me back in time. So it says, note, I'm switching you back, pushing you back to this particular commit. And it says, you are in a detached head state. You can look around, make experimental changes and commit them. And you can discard any commits you make in this state without impacting any branches by switching back to a branch. Okay, this is when the time travel movie that you thought you've been understanding so far gets wonky and you do not understand anything that's what's happening. You were able to see, you were able to go back in time and see, right? But okay, we had our fun. I want to go back to the real state, my present, where I have the header, body, and the footer of my website. So I will say git checkout main. So main is our default branch, our current branch. It used to be called master some months or years ago. I don't remember exactly, but now it's called main. So if we do our log, we have all this timelines. We could also go and check out to this particular commit and see these two commits only, but let's not do that. So we have this, right? We created a file, we added different features, and if we check our file, let's check our file. Okay, our header, our body, and footer are perfect. They're back. We haven't really lost it. We just went in time behind and checked out the state of our application. So this index.html file has different state or different snapshots that are called commits that is being tracked by Git. So this was just a demonstration showing some of the features of Git. In the next video, I'll try to link Git with GitHub and show you how to collaborate with others using GitHub and Git. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the part 3.